Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and well, oh, nope, that's the wrong scene. There we go. Nope, that's also the wrong one. Nope, that's just me. Nope, I forgot what number it was. I don't want to start over. Hi everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 6, The Last Battle. I am your host, Clay, and with me I have Sam.
Hi.
Man, I have to say, this was a really good episode.
Yeah.
One, I love Rex. Love when Rex is on the show.
Me too. Oh, I love it. Yeah, no. I liked this episode quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't notice, and it might be just because my relationship with shows that I have to host podcasts for, but they paid homage to the Clone Wars they changed the logo, the opening title.
Yep.
Which if I knew, I would have screen grabbed that for this podcast, but I didn't realize. So, and they had the same ending theme as Clone Wars.
Yes. So the Rebels, it was just the Rebels title, and then they did that. But then the closing theme was Clone Wars and Clone Wars music. I was like, I love it. I was like grinning like an idiot. I loved it. I thought it was adorable. I was like, yes, that's such a nice touch.
Yeah, it's definitely great.
It made me miss Clone Wars, so I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. So I really liked it. Yeah,
and I mean we got a bit of that with their mission today. So they went to salvage an old transport, and they end up getting ray shielded by battle droids.
Yeah, they're trying to get some bombs, but that didn't really work out that well.
Right, they were going for the bombs. Yeah, it's just so funny hearing them say Roger, Roger again.
Oh, I know. Here's the thing. I don't miss that. I always loved it. Even with the first thing with the prequels, I'm like, this is silly.
Yeah.
But then once I was watching Clone Wars and they were like, Roger, Roger, I was like, oh, I kind of missed that. I love it. So I liked hearing it. I was like, oh, the good old days.
I like when Kanan they're leaving the ship and Hera's like, whatever she says, and Kanan is like, yeah, I'm sure everything will go horribly wrong. It's like, Kanan, your sass has gone up to 11.
Yeah, no, but I love that he said that. It's like, it'll probably go terribly wrong, but whatever, we'll figure it out kind of thing. Like, he didn't say that, but that's what he was alluding to, and I love that too. I was like, yeah, pretty much, sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly, and it did, and everything did work out.
Yep.
But, and I mean, Ezra was really interested in everything that, Rex's old stories, and, obviously, there's too many stories to tell. And, Kanan finally says the line he says in the trailer for this season, where it's like, battles leave scars, some you can't see, and there's definitely, they've left a lot on Rex, and it's something Kanan understands, definitely, both having fought in the Clone Wars. Yeah,
and Kanan just narrowly escaping it with his life.
Yeah. So,
and it was really, because again, there's so many little, little homages, but literally they're all relics. Like that strategy droid, or he had a different name, and I should remember at this point, but I remember those droids from the Clone Wars, and they were very intelligent. Yes, they knew how to win battles like that. They were very cunning, but he's a relic. Rex is a relic because he's a clone. Even Kanan, he's a Jedi. They should not be existing anymore after Order 66. All of it, So they did. I thought they set that up all very well. Mm-hmm. In addition to other stuff, just the parts they're playing and the interaction that Rex and Kanan had has come so far from where it was, and I liked all that a lot. And at one point, too, that Rex yells out Cody instead of Kanan, I was like, oh, no!
Oh, my God. You know what? I didn't catch that.
I heard him say Cody. I was like, oh, no! So, And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, without hearing that, I already was having like clone trooper feels all over again, just because Rex was having PTSD because he wakes up in a room full of droids captured, and is he's back in it again.
I'm still waiting for the day where this is like, I'm thinking like long term, but there's gonna come a time where, like, I mean, it's already happened with Ahsoka coming face to face with Vader, but eventually Rex is gonna have to, like, he already knows, but I feel like there's gonna be a confrontation there as well. It's like that was his general. I was like, oh, he was Anakin's second in command. Like, oh, that's terrible. So anyway,
and I mean, he called Kanan commander.
Yes.
And he had to catch himself and correct
He's
it.
Like, oh, wait.
Yeah. So he, especially with all the droids, he very much felt like he was back in the shit.
Yes, he did. His PTSD and a little bit like there, as you said.
Yeah. And the super tactical droid, I thought they were all, or I may be remembering this wrong, I thought they all had, like, lady voices. I thought they were all voiced by women. Or is that a different kind of droid?
A different kind of droid, I think.
Okay.
It's really weird because they made those droids and like some of the med droids look at the same, or they're the same model. But
that might have been where I got confused.
Maybe, I don't know. So, and this is where I really wish, and I'm like showing my lack of knowledge, but like the difference there, and I just couldn't remember. But yeah. Some of them I think that maybe, and again, this is very stereotypical and genderist of them if this is what they're doing, but maybe the lady voices were the ones who were the med droids. I don't know. But not all, but I do distinctly remember for the Clone Wars, not all med droids were female. I do remember that. So it wasn't totally biased. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just very shocked when I was like, oh, I thought a woman's voice was going to come out of that droid, but.
Yeah.
So this super tactical droid had, God, how many years to mull over the like
I know
loss, and so it just wants another shot. It's got a clone trooper, it's got 2 Jedi, it wants another shot, put all his droids against the Might of the Republic, and it's still using, and I mean they are very remote on this planet, and so it's still using all of the old terms like Republic and separatists. Which are archaic terms by now. Like you'd only see them in the history books because there is no Republic, there is no separatists. It's not a thing.
Nope, not anymore.
Yeah, I love where it was like, I assumed the shutdown order was a trick, and I'm like, you just overrid it. You could just do that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
between
this is
that and then like
one smart cookie.
Well, I just like the little stuff when he's sitting there watching them all like play this out, and he's just like, the Jedi are split up. And that's like a 76% chance said that they would, and as they usually do. I was laughing. I was like, oh god. Here we go. Yeah,
based on all it probably had all knowledge of all battles in the Clone Wars.
Absolutely. No, it made sense that it was saying that, and it was a tactical move, and it was doing things that it's meant to do as far as calculating odds. And again, I even like at the end, the very end, he's just like, so seeing as you have like a 0.1%, either it was 0.1 or it was like 11% chance of like the rebellion defeating the Empire, he's just like, sorry, I can't help you because you guys aren't going to win. So you just as someone sitting there, you're just kind of smiling at yourself because you know what's going to happen. And yes, the odds are not in their favor, but you know how this plays out. So so I was just laughing at that too.
Oh yeah, and then they fly away. They're like, whatever, good luck, see you later. But I'm wondering if we're gonna see the droids again, because if they, maybe the tactical bot, sees, oh, maybe this rebellion has a chance of working, are they gonna come back and help out? I think that's an interesting thing to have on the table.
That would be interesting
if they ever could come back.
Yeah. Well, you know what also, too? This is just like a small thing I was starting to remember about the battle, but they took a few risks there as far as just like suspense, and I thought they did it really wonderfully, whereas like Rex gets shot, Ezra gets shot. Yeah. Like, oh my god, I was freaking out, but I was like, okay, they're all right. But they did a really good job in doing that suspense portion of it. I was like, what? So like, and like you felt like there were actual stakes to be had, and that needed to happen because we're like, all right, we've got 3 very, very important characters here. Most likely they'll be all right. So you're not really thinking. You're like, yeah, it's fine. So when you see them go down, you're like, oh my god, it plays with you a little bit. So I thought that was really smart that they were still like, no, there's a threat here. So
Yeah, and not only do, because these droids are trying to kill them, and especially the, the ones that roll up into a ball. What are those?
Oh, the destroyers?
Destroyers, yes.
I will never forget when I saw that in Phantom Menace, and they roll up, and he's like, and like Obi-Wan's like, Master Destroyers. I'm like, oh my god, you for real?
Listen,
but
I love that shit.
Those things are hard to beat. So yeah, now with what they did in the show, I thought that was clever because like they overheated and they, it didn't quite work out because they're old. But I was like, yeah, those things were friggin' hard to take down because they had their own shield generators.
Yeah, there was. If I remember, there was a whole episode dedicated. It was Ahsoka with the Padawans. She was teaching them how to slowly throw a grenade under their shield, and that wasn't easy. So it's taking them down. There was an art to that. But you're right; they were old droids.
That's right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were old droids, and they did malfunction, and that was part of like the argument at the end, where it was like, yeah, we probably wouldn't have won. You probably would have killed us if your droids weren't so old and if they didn't malfunction.
Yep.
But yeah, and Ezra makes some bold maneuver. Like he takes down the gangway and like it crushes all the droids and I mean Rex kind of gets a little mad at him, understandably, because it was a dangerous maneuver. But it freaking worked.
It worked, but it's interesting too because you have that balance again of like it was good because it really I feel like it gave Ezra a pause for a moment, and Kanan was like, you gotta understand where he's coming from, and I know you meant well, etc. So again, it was another nice little like kind of turning like learning point for him. And it, just in the sense of like, yes, he is still a kid. He's young. He's a Padawan, and he likes, thinks he can play hard and fast with the Force, and then it's all going to be fine. And that's, that's how we all know that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was good because he actually gave pause and he thought about not just what Rex said, but what Kanan said to him. In fact, like, this bothers him still. So, yeah, there's a reason to it.
Yeah. And I love the droid is like, and I presume this is your Padawan. And Kanan is like, most of the time he's my Padawan.
Yes. He's like, most of the time. I just like whenever they, any kind of just direct general addressing of anybody as a Jedi is always Master Jedi. I always liked that. And like the tactical droid used that as well towards Kanan, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, and from what I remember from the tactical droids in Clone Wars, they were programmed with etiquette.
They were. No. They were very clever, but they were like borderline maniacal. They they had this very, very cunning, almost nasty personality to the point of which, yes, they were going to win whatever they had to do, and they would do whatever they had to do it. It wasn't just like so much just like blah, 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 blah. They were very, very, cunning in that sense. So,
yeah, and they like knew positions and stuff, and they were... So, meanwhile, all of this is going on. It was just they left Zeb off. They were like, "Oh, your race did not participate in the Clone Wars," and it's just like he's like, all right."
He's like, "Fine, I'll play the hostage.
Fine,
cool."
Whatever.
But I was kind of like, you're not gonna give Zeb anything to do, even." Chopper gets to do something here.
Well, and
it's cool. I like that they've given Chopper more and more to do, and he's not acting like a little brat. He's like helping them out. He's like, oh crap! No, like he literally gets stuck. He's like, crap. He's like, what do I do? And he does stuff, and then again, actually, so he's like to Ezra, he's like, come and look at the thing I found. Damn it! He's like pulling him along, and then it's like, and then Ezra's like gonna get mad at him, and he's like, okay, I'll listen. All right, cool. So, but I was like, that's cute. They're like finally not like always like at each other's throats. But again, in this moment, they could all be killed. So, I don't think
exactly. And Chopper,
I like that Chopper called for help, and like Sabine and Hera are neck deep in like fighting stuff off and doing stuff, and they got to get stuff done too. They're like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. I like how they're Governor Pike, I did it again. Governor Price, she set the trap for Hera and Sabine when they were getting the fuel, and Hera's like, oh, Kanan will call if they're in trouble, and Sabine is like, that's not true.
Yep.
And then Hera's like, fine, Chopper will call if they get in trouble. It's like, that's more believable.
That made me laugh out loud. I was like, that is so true.
Oh, yeah.
That just made me laugh. I was like, yep, sounds about right. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was funny, too.
Yeah, and it turns out that Price intercepts Chopper's distress call, showing just how good she is. So they, you know, while the Clone Wars is being recreated, in comes the Empire.
Yep.
And I like and
that was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Chopper found a ship to make a call, and that's a ship that's gonna become the new Phantom. Because in the beginning of this episode, John is like, we still don't have a new Phantom for the Ghost. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And then Chopper finds a ship that's roughly the size of the Phantom. And we're just like, there it is.
Yeah, well, and he even says it, too, when they bring it back. They're like, ta-da, here we go.
Sorry, everything went to shit, Hera. Here's a nice new ship.
Here's another ship. Sorry.
Sorry, we're doofuses. Yeah.
Oops, we done goofed again. But we made it. We brought a ship this time, so you can't be too mad.
Yeah. So I just love how Ezra in the end is just like, no, nobody won the Clone Wars. You're literally having this competition because nobody won. And there was no way you could win, because guess who won? The Empire, and they're outside.
Yep, and he's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And it's like, you lost, like, he's like, you know, we've got 3 different, like, and he's like, I've got an example of each of you right here in front of me. Jedi were all murdered, you know, like, you know, Order 66 with the clones, and then the Separatists.
The shutdown order.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Done.
Everything went belly up, and who won? The Emperor won.
Yeah.
That whole, exactly. And I mean, they didn't say it in those words, but we as the fans know, the Clone Wars was just a ruse so that Palpatine could build power for himself.
No. Ezra didn't say it. The tactical droid did. He said, he's just, because Ezra posed the question to him, and I forgot how exactly he posed it to him. He's just like, but who won? He said the Empire, and he's just like, but either, and then he just went, the Republic is now the Empire. I accept your terms. Yes. And I was just like, or I accept your logic. I was like, exactly. Yep. That's exactly what happened. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they did. I mean, they obviously didn't know it was Palpatine, but
no, exactly.
We know.
We knew. You know, nobody knows that, but yes, that's what became of it, and that's what the tactical droid was saying. It was like, yes, this is what came of it, and okay, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I love when the tactical droid is like, yes, we have a common enemy, let's kick their ass. And the droid looks over at Zeb, who was holding the gun to Zeb, and he's just like, sorry. That was so funny to me. Like, oh, sorry.
It's just like, order, da-da-da, we finally get to do it. They're really, oh my god, they're funny.
My god, yeah. And they go out to see if the Empire's hostile, and the stormtroopers just come out and they're like, oh, well, kill them.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, you remember these things? Ha! What a joke!
Yeah.
And they start to destroy them. They're like, ah!
Oh my god. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what that one did.
They sounded like, what are you shooting us for? Yep, pretty much. It was funny. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well.
And I was like, isn't this a little excessive? You got 2 ATs, or AT-AT, no, 1 AT-AT and like 2 AT-STs?
Yeah.
A little excessive?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, you gotta spot a lot of reinforcements for some old battle droids, but alright, fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it from Price's stance, like, she knows that this is happening and she could catch them. I think she's gonna send as much as she can if she thinks she has a chance of catching them. If she knows she's in a position
to get them and they're valuable, then
yeah,
let's do it. If anything, too, I was wondering, too, if it wasn't so much her strategy on that to draw out Hera and Sabine with the, you know, as it was maybe Thrawn giving her orders. I don't know, but that was just a guess. Because I'm like, I'm not saying she's not smart, but I'm like, I don't know if she would have thought, okay, because the whole point with Thrawn, he's like, we have to push their buttons where they care, and that's kind of what it seemed like she was doing in that moment. And again, not that she couldn't have come up with that on her own, But that's all the whole thing about Thrawn that he's been saying about himself, and what they're kind of trying to show in the show is that he knows how to get under skin and, you know, get the things that matter the most to people. So, and those are the threads he'll pull on to make things happen the way he wants them to. So I was wondering if maybe he gave her directive to do something along those lines.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he might have had a hand in the ambush when they went to get the fuel, but I think because they intercepted that call from Chopper is why she decided to do that. So that might have been all her.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I love it because it was just, Rex was like, you know, how many years of fighting, they couldn't find common ground, and you did it just now. Found common ground between the clones and the droids.
Mm-hmm.
So their tactic was to use the bombs, the explosives that they were there to get on the AT-ATs, whatever.
Well, they took down one AT-AT.
And then flew away from the rest. Yeah, that's true.
And the rest they just barely made it by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the tactical droid's idea was, we're gonna shoot at the Jedi, and they're gonna redirect it at the bombs. We'll have a better accuracy. And it's like, wow, he's just super admitting that they suck at shooting.
Yep, exactly. I was like, what? There's that. There's two things I was like, wow. So clearly, you know, they're not good. That they're not very good. But then also, again, and that was part of the whole plan. And Kanan says it too. He's just like, this is going to require a lot of trust because they're going to aim right at them, and then they have to redirect the blast. And I was like, okay. So.
Mm-hmm. A lot of trust.
Yep.
And Kanan
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Oh yeah. And Kanan was like, well, why can't we just shoot it at them? And he's like, well, if we don't have the launchers. If we did, we would have shot you. And like, Kanan's just like, oh, thanks.
It's like, okay.
Kanan was just in rare form this episode. Just almost everything that came out of his mouth was snarky.
It was, no, and he cracked me up. No, I really enjoyed what he was doing because he was the kind of the Rock of like some of the dialogue at moments, and like moments where there's a pause or there's this or there are that or there's something that we need to solidify in that moment, and he would be the one to kind of sum it all up and do it for us, and he did a great job. Or he was snarky and he was funny.
Yep.
And that was almost as much as I enjoyed him. Just the last thing he does in the previous episode, which is just deflect that like blast that's coming to, like, phew, sorry. I was like, oh my god, that was amazing. I was like, yes, Kanan, yes.
Yeah, so overall, I really liked this episode. And I was a little worried that, because the title is The Last Battle, and I was a little worried that Rex would die, but then we went over last week how, you know,
he's not gonna die.
He lives, he's not gonna die.
He's in the Jedi, he's fine.
Yeah, he makes it to the end.
He makes it to the end, as far as we know.
Now would usually be the time when I read...
As far as we're getting into the future of The Force Awakens, I don't know about that.
That's true.
So,
we're not sure.
But he makes it through the first Galactic Civil War. We know that.
Yeah. So now would be the time when I read the synopsis of the next episode, but there isn't one as far as I searched. So it's not next week. There's no Rebels. Technically this week, Sunday. But the next episode is called Imperial Super Commandos. So, Lord only knows what that is going to entail.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, I'm sure. So, Sam, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LikeLeia. Yep.
You can find me at Cleomoto on Twitch especially. I'm going to start streaming some spooky games for Halloween. And you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Until next time. Bye, guys.